Previously on the wacky world of Multimedia J.
Oh yeah, when I say we're going back, I mean we're going back. We've got some Windows XP lying around. The Silver Bullet is old enough and obsolete enough to be a retro system. I'm gonna start with an OS whose era is near and dear to my heart. Windows XP. Yeah! Do-do-do-do-de-do. Yeah!
The wacky world of Multimedia J.
Whoops, started the camera a little too early. Yeah, right. I totally did this on purpose. Yeah, I wanted to add a little bit of continuity to the title card having the computer on, but we want to actually boot into Windows XP. For those of you just tuning in and just joining this madness, this is the Silver Bullet 2000 project, where I'm taking my college computer with 2005 hardware in it and making it into a retro XP machine. So, the whole 2000 reference, that's going back a little too far in terms of when I built this system, but it's a reference to back in the 1980s and 1990s, and probably earlier too, whenever the year 2000 was used as some kind of designation that something was futuristic. So if something took place in the future, it would be something 2000, because 2000 had this mystique to it. Now, we are so far past the year 2000 that it's old enough to be something retro. Well, now that I've just made a bunch of older millennials and Gen X folks and folks around my age and older feel really, really old, let's start the computer. I didn't totally want to rip off Ashen's little "Let's Power on the Beast" reference from so many years ago. Silver Bullet. Windows XP. Let's go. At least the lights work. I do have to go grab the Molex adapters and get this thing working again, because I don't feel like listening to this all the time. You know, I don't want it to be totally like when I first built the computer with no fan control. So these 80mm fans went at full speed all the time and drove my roommate nuts. Your computer is freaking loud, man. Yeah, and then during the summer of the geek, after my sophomore year in college, there was a computer nerd that I was in the geek suite, or whatever you want to call it, back then, with all the computer guys working on campus over the summer. There was a guy who actually built a computer with 60mm fans. It's so hard for me to say that because it's, well, you know what, since Windows XP works and whatnot, I think we should probably take the CD out while it's loading. So let's just spit that out. Do-do-do-do-dee-do. Alright, so we're going to put the Windows XP CD away. Now, I'm going to be, whoops, well, I'll pick that up afterwards. That was a thumb drive. So, I'm going to be an idiot. Which should surprise nobody. I'm going to be an idiot and put a Windows XP computer on the internet. But I'm not going to be a total idiot. As it turns out, there's an antivirus and firewall, Avast and Komodo out there, that will still support Windows XP Service Pack 2. What did we install on this thing? Windows XP Service Pack 2. So, once we get the security software installed, we're going to turn off the wireless, knock all the wireless devices offline, and then shut off the network card on Monolith so that this thing is going to be the only thing on my network except for the printer. And we'll see what happens. Windows XP machine going online in the year 2021 for security software updates, and supposedly there was an update for some sort of thing for Windows XP some sort of really bad like security thing that made Microsoft actually make an update for XP. So we'll see if we can get that update. But yeah, this OS is obsolete as of 2014. I want to make sure that it is all by itself and all my other stuff is offline before we put something like this on the internet. Zing! It's a little overkill because it's USB 3, and this computer does not have USB 3. So, right, we're gonna turn the desktop icons back on and all that fun stuff. Sneaker netting, that's what we used to call it back in high school when we'd walk files across the computer lab, which wasn't wired, by the way, on floppy disks. Well, today's answer to floppy disks are, well, a lot cooler. Let's set up some security software. Right away, I'm showing just how I'm used to newer software these days. There is no snapping to the side of the screen in Windows XP. It was too old. So many modern day habits I'm gonna have to unlearn. Oh wait, no, you should be able to right drag. Come on, is this thing? No. I'm already, whoops. Crash! Alright, we're gonna do copy paste. I'm already having problems right dragging. I used to have this problem in Windows XP, and I can't remember how I used to solve it. Alright, so the firewall won't install. Well, it won't install off of the USB drive, but listen to some of these old retro sounds and everything. Alright, let's try the firewall again. Nope! Procedure entry point cannot be included in the little too new. Avast? See. Are you sure you want to run the procedure entry point? Oh no, this is bad. This is very bad. So, do we at least have Windows Firewall? Windows Security Center. Here it is. Well, we at least have Windows Firewall, the Windows XP Service Pack 2 version of that. We're gonna have to be total idiots, not just mostly idiots. Yeah, well, let's take out the thumbstick and let's prepare to get risky.
Epic fail.
Okay, are you ready to watch this computer get slammed with 50 bazillion viruses? No, just kidding. I do have a hardware firewall for my network too, so the network cable is plugged in, and now we're going to see what happens. The wireless is disabled, and Monolith's network card is shut off, so there are no other network devices except for, well, no, the printer's on wireless too, so the printer's technically disabled. Well, here we go. See if, I don't know if anything even still works. We might have to cut this project short if, like, Windows activation doesn't even work anymore. It's 20 years ago. I mean, there's no way Microsoft still has something going for that. Part of the fun is the experience. There's lots of people that do retro computer projects like this, and they talk about stuff not working. I think it's more entertaining to actually show stuff not working. Okay, are you ready? I'm with my ancient IntelliMouse Explorer 3. And we're probably going to... yeah, I'm going to find the Molex adapters to put the fans on the controllers here. Ready? We have a network connection now. Do-do-do-do-dee-doo. So now we are living very, very dangerously. This machine is going to get owned so quickly. Well, it would probably get owned if I was live streaming this, but as it stands, there's not a peep on my YouTube channel except that I'm working on a new computer project involving the Silver Bullet. One of the advantages of YouTube videos and stuff like that. Now, how did we used to go to Windows Update? We can do it in the control panel nowadays. All programs. Activate window. Whoops. Not add remove programs. All programs. Activate Windows. Hi, Microsoft. I'm a moron. Let's activate Windows. I want to telephone a customer service representative. Hello, Microsoft support? I'm one of those morons who's using Windows XP in 2021. Can I activate Windows? I'm sure they still get calls like that. But I think it used to just work, and Microsoft's like, whatever, after the OS went obsolete. So let's see here. Register with Microsoft? No, I registered 20 years ago. Yeah, connection requires proxy server. Nah, just auto detect. Unless the network chip in this thing doesn't have XP drivers. Unable to establish a connection with the activation server. Please check your network settings and confirm you are able to connect to the internet. Then try again. Oh, really now? Let's be even more stupid and go into IE6. Oh, yeah, we never did set up the internet. Connect to the internet. Let's see here. Set up my connection manually. Dude. Let's see. Broadband always on. There we go. I forgot we had to do that in order to set up the internet back in the day. Alright, let's go into IE6. This page cannot be displayed. Alright, let me see if I'm missing drivers for the motherboard or something.
Epic fail.
Dun dun dun! We need to sneakernet over some motherboard drivers for Windows XP if we want to proceed. You know, this retro project may be harder than setting up some more modern computers these days. Alright, let's go over to Monolith with the USB drive and see if there's still XP stuff for this motherboard. What was this motherboard called again? I know it's Asus, but A8N SLI Premium. Wow! I remember something from 2005! Oh, look, a screensaver. Remember those? Yeah, it's a bit of a shock to the system to go this far back in terms of computing experience. I mean, Windows XP was my jam back in the day. I was so used to it, and I was one of those folks that didn't give it up for Vista. When Windows 7 came out, I made the switch, but not without, being a little bit sad about having to leave XP behind. Just like, so many memories, man. But it is old, and it shows its age in 2021. Alright, so I've plugged in the thumbstick with motherboard drivers that are still on the internet for Windows XP. Oh man, thank you Asus for letting your servers sit around and stuff like that. So, we're doing things the way you used to have to do things back in the old days. You would install Windows, and your hardware wouldn't work correctly if it was newer than the OS, which was most computers after XP made its debut. There weren't enough generic drivers for all your stuff to work, especially your display. So, you would have to actually get files somewhere else sometimes and walk them back to the computer just to put it online. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull a plug on the network, install all these drivers, then we're going to do that start the computer thing we wanted to do earlier, and, well, we'll see what happens. Ah, the fun part of extracting zip files in Windows XP and having to go through the wizard every single time. And look at how it's actually taking time. Look at how it's actually taking time to extract everything. Alright, don't show extracted files, I just want to keep extracting away. There's all kinds of stuff. There's chipset drivers, there's even a BIOS update, but I think I already have the BIOS update. Oh look, a zip file that unzips into a RAR. We'll have to get something for that. Please tell me the LAN driver isn't the same way. Okay, the LAN driver is okay. Let's keep that open. And let's just do this for the RAID driver and things along those lines. There, and just do that, and let's install all of these. Close that out. So we gotta figure out XP software that opens RAR files that still supports XP in order to proceed. I'm also gonna check the BIOS and see if it's from 2006. So that's when the latest BIOS update for this motherboard was. I think I already have that installed though. The most recent BIOS for this motherboard, I think, is older than this YouTube channel. Like I said, we're going back, and the nostalgia is going to be spread very, very thick. Now I just gotta stop knocking my Windows XP box over. I kept getting error messages that the stuff I was downloading, Windows was too old and stuff like that, and it also couldn't recognize I was running a 64-bit processor, so I think I accidentally downloaded some stuff for Windows XP 64-bit edition. However, all of that has been rendered moot. I forgot that this old motherboard, for whatever reason, had 2 integrated network chips on it, and one of them has drivers. Let's do a mulligan here. The BIOS actually is not the latest version. Of course, this is my 2005 system. It shouldn't surprise me that a BIOS update from 2006 never got installed. But first things first, Windows XP. Then we'll play with the BIOS later. We just got to see what kind of viability there is. We are live now. So, this is the part where we start looking and acting like an idiot, running a Windows XP machine on today's internet with nothing but the Windows XP Windows firewall. This is gonna be stupid. Yeah. Well, at least I remember to unplug this thing, so whatever virus this thing gets doesn't get on my, or malware or whatever, doesn't get on the thumbstick. Come on, you're not checking the CD drive anymore. Windows XP, man. I randomly blurted that out. There was a comedian on campus one time, and they started talking about computers, and I was like, Windows XP, man. Everyone started cracking up. Because nerds get made fun of, and sometimes we take advantage of that and just, get people to laugh by getting them to make fun of us again. Alright, your computer might be at risk. Understatement of the century, Windows XP. Alright, all programs, activate Windows. Let's activate Windows! Okay, Microsoft, call me a moron for still using XP. I don't want to register with... No, okay. Checking for connectivity. Oh, wait a minute. Auto detect my settings. Unable to establish a connection with the activation server. Alright, give me Internet Explorer 6. Internet options. Connections. LAN settings. Auto detect. And use automatic... No. Oh, it should... Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got link lights. I got link lights on one of those 2 network drivers. So let me go back in here to Security Center. No, not Security Center. Back in the day, you had to go to System and Hardware to activate the device manager. Jeez, Geek House. We gotta change that computer name while we're at it. But first, okay. Oh, the FireWire adapter. Remember those? Still works. But all of... Nah, alright. No, that can't be right. View devices by connection. PCI bus, audio controller, Okay, there's an Ethernet controller here, but there's actually 2 Ethernet controllers on this board. Ha! I might have to check what I'm downloading then, because it wouldn't install properly. Okay, finally making some progress here, but with some very important caveats. In today's world of cheap 8-gig thumb drives, and even bigger thumb drives nowadays, it's not the end of the world if you do all the unzipping RAR files and other stuff like that over on the other computer before bringing everything over on the thumbstick. So that's been taken care of. I also noticed that you had to select the 64-bit, 32-bit thing afterwards when you pick what driver you want to install. So we now have a network driver on this thing. Okay, you ready? Here's what I wanted to do like 3 boots ago. Alright, time to be stupid. This is where it gets really, really stupid. I know Weird Al had the Dare to Be Stupid song, but I don't know. Sometimes that's not such a good idea. Alright, we'll see what happens here. See what still works, too. It may be the case that this machine receives some malware and I have to redo everything all over again and come up with a better strategy to get everything installed. We're going back to the era of the Nimda virus. I mean, come on, early 2000s here. Windows XP Service Pack 2 is supposed to address some of the problems with it, though. But I think there was Service Pack 3 and things like that. It'll be interesting to see what became of Windows Update anyways. Okay, we ready? Here we go, into the great unknown of running Windows XP in 2021. Yeah, we had to install an old version of Java before that would work. The RAID controller works. Let's see here. It's flipping out about a silicon image. Put that off to the side. All right, ready? Let's go on the. Let's look stupid here. Activate Windows. Wizard has finished installing the driver for the silicon image RAID thingy here. Here we go. Pop, pop down in the corner. Ta-da! All right. Let's activate Windows over the internet. Ready? Go. Don't register with Microsoft. I did that 20 years ago. Connectivity. There should be a connection now. I made sure of it before I started the computer. Don't forget, we have a single-core processor and a hard drive. Unable to establish a connection. Hold on a second. Let's try running the internet again. Microsoft is sappy. Have I just been thrown offline somehow? Google.com in Internet Explorer 6. Hey, look, it's Google. Yeah, Windows Active retry. Yeah, even the activation servers are down now. Unable to establish a connection with the activation server. Please.
Epic fail.
So, yeah, we can't even get the darn thing activated. I don't see the activation. No, it's still there in the Windows XP's. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. This page cannot be displayed, so Windows Update is toast. Activation is toast. Windows Update is toast. So all the people that are running Windows XP in today's world are doing something different. 30 days left for activation. Time to shut the computer down and hit the books. Actually, can we install some security software on it? Just for the heck of it. Documents, downloads. How about the online Avast installer? Window Codex DLL. Okay. Alright, well this was stupid. And I think because of the risk of malware, we're actually going to have to reinstall Windows. We're actually going to have to blank the disk and start over.
Epic fail.
But there you go. So yeah, I tried with this copy of XP Professional I've had since college, and there's no support online. This is the giant digital unplug that a lot of people are worried about. What happens when stuff that requires digital handshaking and stuff? Well, when the digital handshake stuff gets taken down. So yeah, well, we'll have to go back to the drawing board on this whole retro thing. Nuke everything. We're up to Plan C now. So, I was joking about activating Windows over the phone. I need to be careful what I joke about. I just watched a video of some guy in Russia activating Windows XP over by telephone. It's a long and tedious process, but it can be done offline. So you just have to say the right things over the phone and stuff along those lines. So, what we're going to do, we're going to start up gparted and nuke everything, reinstall Windows XP, get back to a desktop, and then we will activate Windows via telephone. It's got to be a tedious phone call, so I don't think I'll get to that tonight. So what we'll do is I'm going to blank out the drives, and we're going to fix everything from the hardware side of things. So we have Windows, but yeah, so right, we'll save that for night number 3 with this stuff. So what we're going to do is nuke the drive once again, and we're going to fix the hardware thing. So find some Molex adapters and stuff so we can have the fans controllable by the fan controller. We'll swing in a hardware direction this time because, yeah, we don't have much time for a long, tedious phone call and really to do much else afterwards. So we're going to swing in a hardware direction instead. Blank Windows, and yeah, let's make it happen. Okay, ready? We're going to do a fresh start after this then. So long! I don't want to risk anything having gotten onto the machine while it was vulnerable like that. So here's the plan. So we're going to tediously activate Windows via telephone after reinstalling it. And then one of the things I'd like to do is I want all of this to be image-based. So I want to install a version... Well, first off, before we connect anything, we're going to do everything through SneakerNet. We're going to install the offline installer for Windows XP Service Pack 3 and Just install however many servers. I think it was only 3 for Windows XP. It was 2000, I think they had an SP4. So we'll install the service packs for Windows. Hopefully that updates everything so we can install security software offline, of course. So I want to make sure this thing has proper security software and everything installed before taking it online. And as part of the other stuff we're going to be doing, I'm going to make sure to get a few other things ready to go before we plug it in. So one of the things I want to do is have this be a lot more image-based. So see if I can find, because I'm using Seagate drives, is there a Windows XP compatible version of Seagate Disk Wizard that I can use? And then I'll save an image of my hard drive on the other hard drive, then plug in a very large plug-in drive or thumbstick or something and just take the image and save it somewhere. So that way, if I ever need to redo this machine from scratch, we'll have activated Windows XP for the Silver Bullet that we just re-image to the hard drive instead. So we don't have to be on the phone with Microsoft and what if the system goes down and blah blah blah. We'll just save that somewhere, burn it to a disk or something. So, alright, so we've blanked everything out so we can set everything up offline. It also would be a nice way to take a bunch of images as I go. So if I have to restore the system to a certain point, we can do that. Like if there's malware or something goes wrong, or hard drive conks out because you're using old 250 gig drives here. So, alright, let's do shutdown and let's do something about how loud this system is. Just like we did back in 2002 or 2003 or something like that. I know I got this from Newegg either during or after the Summer of the Geek. No. The following summer was when I got this. After I had a roommate, of course, was like, "You're too loud." And I was like, "Yeah, my computer is too loud." Because all the newer systems everybody was getting back then had 120 millimeter fans and were a lot quieter. Hey, what can I say? I bought this case in 2002. So, make of that what you will. Let's find some Molex adapters to quiet this darn thing down. Well, I hope you don't mind ketchup and mustard cables. Yeah, back in the day. This one's never been used. I think I found this somewhere. I just kept it because I might need it someday. Well, this is vindication for all you guys out there that have that infamous thing of cables that you think you'll need someday. Well, someday does come. So yeah, we're going back to the olden days when you would basically use a fan controller by converting your fans plug into Molex, because there were some fans out there that were actually using Molex plugs before all these 3-pin, 4-pin, etc. adapters came out, and fans were just running full speed all the time. Just, it's interesting how you gotta get used to some of these old technologies again that were a thing back then when you do something retro like this. So, let's see if we can rig everything up here to... I believe what I used to do is we'll do channels 3 and 4 on the fan controller could handle more current than channels 1 and 2. So I think I'll have the top one be the front fan and the bottom one be both of the back fans, or actually no, each back fan goes to a channel for a knob, and then we'll do the front fan under fan number 2. Set it up that way anyways. They're 80mm fans, there's no real issue with current on them, plus they're Vantex Stealths. And I even oiled the bearings in these ones before, just to see if I get some more life out of them, but yeah, Vantex Stealth, 80mm, circa the early 2000s, still working, thanks to, of course, oiling the bearings once in a while. Okay, before we start this thing back up and see how well the fan controller is working all these years later, I want to call out the people that are going to be typing in comments or thinking of typing in comments regarding my non-cable management in this system. How much of it can you see? Yeah, I thought so. You have to swing way around to see it. But that's kind of beside the point. Look, folks, I've been around the block with this kind of stuff, and I think some of you have as well. Have you ever built a system where you got it working just to get it working and left things sloppy? And you were like, I'll clean up the wiring later. And then later turned into weeks or months or never? Or how about, did you ever move into a place or a dorm room or something and set up the computer to play video games? And you were like, I'm gonna play some games now and I'll finish putting all my stuff away later. And then putting all your stuff away later turns into days, weeks, months, never. remember the old proverb about people living in glass houses. Alright, how well is this old Thermaltake fan controller working these days? I should be able to control the noise by spinning these dials. There is no operating system, so nothing's going to boot. Alright, let's see what the difference is here. This one will make the most difference. I think the resistance on these were different as well, and I think I might actually be able to slow the fan down more by putting it on channels 3 and 4. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll redo that at some point, but it is still 80mm fans. I could always just cut the power from the one in the front, and then this will just be a droney system instead of a whiny system. But I think we can leave everything all the way down. It's a newer processor than the old Athlon that I used to put in there. Matter of fact, let's shut it off and just disconnect the power from the front fan. Don't know if we really need a front fan right now. Okay, it's still louder because it is 80mm fans. What kind of a noise difference are we looking at though with the front fan unplugged? Oh yeah, noticeable. We also have to remember there's a stock cooler in this thing with like 60mm or something. So, yeah, we gotta worry about that too. But anyways, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So, we have a slightly less noisy computer. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reinstall Windows XP off screen and go through the tedious phone call and come back with Windows XP activated and ready to make an image or get updated or all that other fun stuff. And we'll be making very heavy use of the old sneaker net in order to move over like the Windows XP service packs, the updates, etc. Just gonna find where to get those, what kind of offline sources are available for those these days, or maybe there's some giant community service pack or something. Because I know Windows XP has an enthusiast community out there that has kept the OS running since its end of support date. It's just got some fans out there that like XP era gaming, the look and feel, and things along those lines, so I'm gonna be checking that out. For now, though, we have ourselves a computer at least, and it's quieter. Alright, let's see what we can come up with. Till next time, folks.